quite often get calls and emails at the office regarding rigs. I think everyone loves a bit of rig trickery, and it's one of those topics that, well, there's just so much to talk about and so much to play around with. You know, it's a minefield. So we've got a brand new feature from now on. Each month we'll be looking at a different topic regarding rigs, all about what goes on the end of your rod. Personally, I'm a big fan of running rigs. It's a setup that I use a lot, so I do get asked quite a few questions about it. I've got a little setup that I actually sort of came up with myself, if you like. It's nothing revolutionary, but it works extremely well and it's very simple. So I'm going to run you through that today. So this is the setup I'm talking about. As I said, it is ridiculously simple. I really don't need to run you through how to tie one of these leaders up. It's literally £20 IQ soft, tied with a 5-turn grinner to a size 8 ring swivel. I've also got a little stick clip on that. And this here is a Korda anti-tangle sleeve, not designed for this purpose at all. However, I found them to be ideal for this use. So that anti-tangle sleeve pushes over the eye of the swivel. Doesn't matter if you've got a little tag end sticking out, that'll just help it grip better. Nice and snug on there. And then you've got an inline running on the line. Now that is literally lead with the insert tapped out. They come out easy enough. Just pull it out. There you go, hey presto. Now, why do I like this rig? Well, first of all, it gives me fantastic hooking properties. I've never been a massive fan of lead clips, mainly because of the fact that they don't offer a huge amount of resistance straight away. And I can pretty much show you that here. I've got a little rig. Now, as soon as the carp feels any sort of resistance, a little prick, it's able to shake its head and use the weight of the bait to actually throw the hook. Now, as you see here, if I pick this up, there's resistance there, but it's such a small amount of resistance, you know, it's not pulling that hook at all. Until that fish actually lifts the lead up and off the ground, you're not getting that full resistance. So there's a huge amount of time there for the fish to actually sit there and shake it off without the lead hook pulling the hook home. With an inline, I'll just click this on here so you can see it. With an inline, as soon as the fish pulls that hook link tight, there's a massive amount of resistance pulling that hook home. So ideally, in an ideal world, you want that fish to bolt. And if that fish bolts, the hook's going to pull right in there, and you know you're going to, well, you've got a good chance of landing it. It's not going to be able to get rid of it. So as you see, with an inline, as soon as I tighten that hook link up, I've got a much more resistance there, 3 ounces or whatever it is of that. And then you'll see here, if I was to pick that up, and then I've got all the weight there, and then if I shake that like a fish would, without hooking the hook into my finger, give that a little shake, and that just slides down the line. And as soon as that's popped off of that sleeve, line's going to be running through, and if you've got a little bobbin, then you're going to get far more indication. I'll show you that one in a minute. Now, although I'm a massive fan of inlines, there are the odd occasion where you will have to use lead clips. You know, if you're fishing in heavy weed, you need that lead to be able to come off, and that will give you a much better chance of actually landing it. Not only does it help the fish raise up in the water, it also means that there's nothing on the line to get caught. So, you know, this isn't the be all and end all, but in situations where there's not lots of weed or heavy snags or anything like that, where you haven't got any troubles, then I'd be using this setup because it just gives you so much better indication, and also obviously makes it that much harder for the fish to deal with. Now, if you are a hardcore lead clip fan and you didn't really want to go to a running inline setup, you can actually use a running setup with a lead clip. You just need one of the ones with the pins holes in, but obviously you don't actually have the pin in there. That way the swivel can pop out of the lead clip and turn into a running setup. As I said, I am more of a fan of the inline just because it offers such better hooking properties, but that is another option if you wanted to use running leads. I will just quickly mention this because I don't want to be responsible for someone losing a fish. If you are using a stick clip, never cast it out like that without a rubber on it, because what can happen is that little loop can slip off one of the hooks onto a single one, and if it's only on a single one, there is a chance it may bend out and you could lose a massive fish, or any fish. You don't want to lose any fish. Obviously, if you've got a cut down tail rubber on there or some other kind of rubber, that ensures that that's never going to happen. Right, I've had a good look at these. Now let me prove to you how much better indication you get from that running setup. Right, so here we go. I'm probably 20 yards away from my rod. I've got a sort of semi-slack line, nice drop on my bobbin. And first of all, I'm going to imitate this being a fixed setup. So, you know, lead clip, normal inline lead, what have you, where the lead gets picked up with it. So here we go. Lead's off the deck, 6 inches, no movement on the old bobbin at all. Pulling it this way, hardly anything to be honest with you. Oh, one bleep then. Oh, yeah, we've got a couple of bleeps there. It's gone up a little bit, but look how much I had to move to get that. Same over here. Lifted it up. I'm 6 foot off the bottom, and I can hardly even see my my bobbin moving at all. Come across here. Same again. Look, one bleep, couple of bleeps. So literally the most pathetic indication you can get. Right, now let's imitate the setup as it actually is. So I'm picking it up from the stick clip, a little bit of resistance there, fish feels it, shakes its head. Oh, straight away a bleep, look, and it's only come out 2 inches. Keep going, look, 3, 4 bleeps, and I've only moved 6 inches away from the actual lead. The bobbin's up tight against the buzzer there, and you know all about it. Again, if it drops back towards you, look, it's pulling. I mean, as I say, the bobbin's tight up against the buzzer there, you'd be hitting that, that's a bite. Another advantage with this setup is if you're fishing the lakes with a lot of nuisance species in and you tend to hook them a fair bit, you know about it so much quicker. I think a lot of the time when you're getting them bream and you're getting the odd little bleep, you think, oh, is that a liner? And then half hour later, you reel in and there's a bream hanging on the end. Well, it's probably been on there that whole time. Whereas with this setup, even the smaller fish, they've managed to pop that through there and you know about it. You're not wasting time on the bank with some stupid little bream out there going, oh, oh. Obviously you're not going to get any carp feeding when he's stressing out on a spot like that. So there you go, really simple little setup, and I'm sure that if more people incorporate that into their fishing, they'd not only catch more fish, but they'd know about them quicker.